Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Okay, so I'm going to help you understand something I think most of you have probably heard of if you've really been down the rabbit hole when it comes to narcissist abuse. First, I'm going to teach you something we are taught. It's a technique to help people to heal and to integrate their separated parts. Because that's really what all therapy is about, is you have divided parts that were at one point in time one whole complete part, okay? And then they got separated, so a wholeness of you split off, okay? This could be called fracturing, and there's another psychological term for it, but I'm going to leave it at that. So the idea is to integrate, to heal each part, and then integrate them to become, instead of being two parts, they become one, and that's called being whole and complete, and that's very healthy. Okay, so in a video I made quite a while ago, it was about open loops. It's a technique we are taught in NLP and hypnosis to open up stories, and then so you open up so you start a story, you don't finish it, start a second story, you don't finish it, and then a third and a fourth, and then you embed positive things such as love, peace, confidence, whatever it is the person needs or wants. But then you close the loops, okay? Now, first of all, the therapist is the one who's supposed to bring up the stories, okay? Well, narcissists, as you've heard, they reverse everything. So what a narcissist will do is they will ask you questions, or they will just randomly start a story. And then what they do is they will interrupt themselves and start another one, okay? So another way they do this is they'll ask you a story and they won't let you, or I'm sorry. They will ask you a question and then they won't let you finish. Now they're doing this on purpose. And then what they usually will do is they will interrupt you with another question and then interrupt that answer with another question. And then usually they'll interrupt it with another question, or they'll just start talking about a totally different story that has nothing to do with anything that they asked you about. What this does is it really opens you up and it confuses your mind, okay? It's a reverse way to open. And then they will start whispering stuff in your ear like, bad. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to go down the negative rabbit hole, but they'll say negative stuff to you, okay? And then on top of that, they may end up opening some more open loops, and they'll do like 10, 15 stories. As long as you talk to them, they will completely open up stories and never finish them. They'll ask you questions and never let you finish them. So your brain is thinking about all these questions they ask, and you're spinning and spinning and spinning, just like on the computer. When you have all those pages that are open, well, it drains the energy, it exhausts the battery, and then you get that little beach ball that spins and spins, and you get stuck. And once you get stuck, that's when they start telling and embedding negative stuff into your brain, okay? They do this on purpose. So at one point in time, okay, it was probably before you were born, okay? At one point in time in spirit, you were one whole complete unit. In other words, think of a gallon of milk, okay? So that gallon of milk is complete. It's 1 gallon. Well, here's what happens. When you are scared, let's say the first time you go to kindergarten, well, you go with your parents and everything seems cool. Oh, there's Jimmy, there's Sarah, hi. You're kind of happy, you're kind of excited because your mom's been telling you about kindergarten. It's going to be great and wonderful. And you're with your parents holding their hands or leaning on your mom's leg or whatever. And then the school bell rings and the teacher goes, okay, everybody come on inside. And so you just start going inside the classroom. And at one moment in time, you realize, like, wait, where's mom? Where's dad? And you look left, right, and then you turn around and they're waving goodbye. And you're like, wait, what? No. And you start to freak out and you start crying and you flip out, right? So here's what happens. The core you says, I can't deal with this emotionally. So what it does, it takes a little drop of your energy, a little drop of water, we'll say, your spiritual energy, and it pushes it outside the bigger circle of you, the bigger bubble of you. And it says, you deal with it, and bam, just like that, a part gets fractionated and or splits off. And now what happens, that little part is suddenly freaking out. It's being shoved out of the hole, and it's like, oh my God, it's freaking out. It's all alone. The door is closed behind it, and now it has to deal with this new reality. And generally how most parts deal with new realities like this is they freak out, they scream, they cry, they shut down, they do something that's not normal or healthy. And thus, you just created a part. Parts are something that was separated and or divided from you. And those are very key words here. See, one of the purposes of us being here on the planet is to begin to heal these separated and divided parts, okay? One of the ways you do it is through metaphors, stories, and examples. So that's why I like to use a lot of metaphors and stories, because not only will it help you to understand things on a deeper level, it can also trigger parts to begin to heal and then begin to integrate. So like I said in a video months ago, about 2 months ago, is like, hey, I'm actually, you may not realize it, but you're going through a healing process and a training while listening to my videos. So in NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, we have a technique that's literally called parts integration, okay? We will take two completely wildly different and separate parts that are completely far apart and opposite of each other. And what we'll do is we'll take it through a process, okay? One of the processes is we will say, well, what's your highest purpose? And they'll say, well, happiness. Well, for what purpose? Well, I want to enjoy life. Well, for what purpose? Well, I want this. Well, for what purpose? And you get to like its highest purpose. Then you go over to the other part, that's the negative part, and you say, well, what's your highest purpose? Well, I don't want to get hurt. Okay, well, for what purpose? Because then I'll be scared. I say, okay, so what's your purpose for not wanting to be scared? Well, I want to feel good about myself. Well, if you feel good about yourself, what's your highest purpose for that? Well, then that'll allow me to relax. Like, okay, well, if you're relaxed, what does that allow you to experience? Like, well, I can just feel good about myself. And then you say, well, what's your highest purpose for feeling good? Like, well, I want to be happy. So what you'll end up finding is when you get to the top of both of these, they will have the exact same highest purpose. Like happiness, or love, or peace, or whatever it is. And what happens is they both start to look at each other. You will have a physical sensation of this, okay? And the parts will literally kind of turn and look, and you hold them in your hands. And, I'm not going to explain the technique, but what ends up happening is these two parts will literally start to look, and I'll say, well, what's going on? Like, well, the part on the right literally turned to look to the part on the left, and the left just now began to notice the part on my right hand. So they're starting to remember, wait a minute, we used to be one part. We used to be the same being. So then at this point, we will have them come together and to integrate, okay? Now I'm kind of jumping through, but this is essentially it. And then they become one whole and complete. And then you open your hands up, and all of a sudden, these two images that were separate images will then create a radically different image. That's a brand new image. And it's one image instead of two separate images. And then you'll have like an aha moment. And then what we do is we bring that part inside our chest. And then I'll take you through a process where we allow it to begin to integrate with all the other parts inside your body. And all of a sudden, all these problems, maybe 5, 7, 9, 10, 11 problems that you had your whole life on a constant daily or weekly basis, all of a sudden it's like, wow, all those problems are gone. It takes away a chunk of problems. Because it was the division that was causing the problems. Have you ever noticed that you, or maybe if you're talking to a friend, you're like, well, part of me wants to get a hamburger, but another part of me wants to get a hot dog, so I don't know what I want. So that's the division between the parts, and it causes you to go in two different directions. So it's like a part of you wants to go forward, another part's scared, said, no, I don't want to go forward, I'm scared, I want to go away, and this can really affect you from achieving your goals in life. So just start paying attention to people when they talk and begin to notice when they say, well, a part of me really wants to do this, or a part of me really likes that, but then there's another part of me that really doesn't like it at all, or doesn't want to go, or doesn't want to get this. So notice how a part of them does, a part of them that doesn't. Part of them wants to go left, another part wants to go right. These are two separate parts. So People will use this naturally in their dialogues, in their communication. They do it all the time. So now, remember, with open loops, the idea is to open up 3 or 4 stories and then to embed the positive stuff and then to close the loops. So now they're complete loops. In other words, the story is complete, okay? And the other part is when you do parts integration, you take 2 separate parts and you bring them together and they become whole and complete. So notice the word whole and complete versus separated and divided. So whenever you're dealing with a narcissist, their whole thing is about reversing things, about dividing things, about separating things, okay? Again, that's a very left brain process. The left brain wants to get rid of like 99.7% of everything so we can focus on this one little molecule and how it interacts with this electron, okay? Looking under a microscope, whereas the right brain is about bringing things together, whole and complete. Whole and complete are right brain words. Now, I know most of you have heard basically a phrase or sentence in the sense that narcissists always destroy themselves. They always destroy their lives. No matter what happens, they end up screwing themselves over. Yeah, it's because the things that they're doing to you is what they're doing inside on an unconscious level. They're constantly dividing themselves. They're constantly separating more and more parts. And narcissists are extremely separated and divided. They're scattered inside. They have a bunch of parts. And this is what can cause a narcissist to say something and then 5 minutes later or a day later, be like, I don't remember saying that, because now they're in a completely different part. So in this other part, well, that part didn't say it. The other part did. So this is why it's kind of a waste of time to even try to reason with a narcissist. It's like, who are you talking to in this moment? And they ping pong from part to part to part. So all of us have parts to some degree. I've done a ton of part integration over the last 30 years. So don't be surprised if you have parts. It's not that big of a deal. Here's what I'm going to do during the workshop in November. Again, it's going to probably be mid-November, maybe a little bit later, 3rd or 4th week. We're going to do it here in San Rafael. I am going to bring someone up and do parts integration on them. Okay, so you can at least get to see it. Now here's the really cool thing. While someone else is being taken through it, your unconscious mind will begin to integrate one or more of your parts. Now another way is of healing and integrating parts is energy healing. Now in energy healing, we are healing the energy which automatically heals the parts, okay? Everything that's involved. It's a deeper level of parts integration, okay? Instead, we would say, we're basically bringing in the core energy or the charges. So they're called charges, okay? So you get a charge and you need to heal that charge so it can integrate with the whole, so it can come back home. So during the workshop, we will set aside some time, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, to talk about parts, to explain them, and to give you a demonstration. Alright, so one of the things that narcissists do is they are purposely doing things to create parts to separate you and to divide you from you, especially your left brain from your right brain, okay? If I remember right, and please forgive me, I don't remember what verse it was. I believe it was in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It might have been in, I just lost the name of that book, one of the other books in the Bible. But it was where Jesus says, he and she shall be married one unto each other. So the whole idea of therapy, again, this is something we learned during one of our NLP trainings, is like the idea is to get your left hemisphere in sync with your right hemisphere, to get your left brain in rapport with your right brain, okay? This is whole and complete. This is wholeness. Now your system is functioning together as one, and that is the ultimate goal of therapy. In fact, one thing Dr. Tad James said to us, he said, look, the whole reason why your clients are your clients and why they're coming to you is because they're not in rapport with themselves. So you need to heal these parts. So now more and more of them becomes one and complete, and now they're in one hemisphere, they're in one sync, okay? and now they're becoming more and more whole and complete. So let me read this. It says, we cannot force someone to hear a message they are not ready to receive, but we must never underestimate the power of planting a seed. So when I talk about left brain, right brain, or two-dimensional thinking versus three-dimensional processing, if someone's in their two-dimensional brain, they literally cannot understand you when you're speaking from the third dimension and talking about concepts from the third dimension. The two-dimensional brain literally cannot process that. It doesn't understand you. It can't. So ladies, you are left and right brain because you have more, the bundle of nerves that's between the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, you have more neurological connections that connects the left side to the right side, and I mean a lot. So when you shift from, see, when you're in your left brain, you guys get along. You guys understand each other. He clearly understands you because you're using the same processor, and unconsciously you're speaking what's called the external linear language. He completely understands that. He loves it. But when you switch over to the right brain, he's still in his left brain. Men cannot shift as fast as you. You can shift left, right, just like that. He cannot do that. And that's something women don't understand. So you'll automatically shift to your right brain to express it from that perspective. And you're looking at it like, well, why didn't, like, hey, come on. And I've even seen women snap their fingers and say, hey, come on, man, keep up. I'm on a different page. And until I learned how to go to my right brain, I was like, another page? What the hell's keep up? What the hell is she talking about? Keep up to what? What page? What is she talking about? It made no sense to me until I was like, oh, she's on a different level, communicating in a different way, using a different language and processor, and what she's saying means something different. So it was my course that taught me how to do all of this, okay? So the course Crack the Female Code, a third of the course is working on teaching him how to open up to his right brain to give more and more techniques. And these are some of the techniques that I'm going to be teaching you in this course, in this workshop, this training that's coming up in November, okay? I have men go through this over and over until they can get faster and faster and faster to opening up to the right brain, and then teaching them how to use the right brain processor. It is a completely foreign concept to men. It is a leap, a giant leap for mankind, for men to learn how to use this processor and speak the hidden internal language that women speak all the time. See, men and women, until men learn how to use their right brain, you're just, forgive me for cussing a little bit here, but you're shit out of luck. I mean, you're going to argue in a fight because you're on two different pages, talk about two different things, and you don't even know it. When I say you're speaking two different languages, I literally mean you are speaking two completely different languages, and you do not understand each other. He doesn't understand you. The entire course is designed to teach men how to open up to the right brain and communicate in the internal, mentally stimulating and emotionally fulfilling language, so he can connect with you mentally and emotionally and be on the same page. It's all about giving you, as a woman, what you have always wanted in a relationship. So I was gifted with this knowledge. It was an out-of-the-box. Here's the thing, guys would be like, wait, why doesn't Tony talk about this? Why doesn't Men Are From Mars? Why doesn't Dr. Barbara DeAngelis? They have no clue that this exists. They are completely blind. They're the blind leading the blind, not even knowing that they don't even know. Now here's the kicker. Everything that I'm teaching you about narcissist abuse, in fact, what I'm going into about parts integration and the Hegelian dialectic, I understand all of this because of my course, Crack the Female Code. Alright, so let's get into Hegelian dialectic. I'm going to give you my how do I say this? My professional, not opinion, but my experience, the things that I'm trained in to help you to understand this from a different perspective. I'm going to give you a really simple thing. Here's what it is. So instead of integrating, they divide, and they do this because they're trying to divide you inside your brain, and it confuses the hell out of you, and that exhausts you. But there's a really funny and really powerful, very simple thing you can do to reverse ship on these guys, and it'll screw them up. Alright, so here's how Hegelian dialectic works. Okay, this is a very basic, but it's a clear core understanding of what they're doing and what their purpose is, okay? So, first of all, when you listen to YouTube videos about it, you'll see all these comments of people going, okay, that, like, I have no, like, that didn't make any sense to me, like, I don't get it, like, what is it? And that's the whole idea of Hegelian dialectic. It screws you up, it confuses you, and so these people are making these videos using the dialectic, confusing the hell out of people, going, wait, what are you saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So let's say you have a value. Let's say you believe it's a really good thing for people to listen to understand, okay? Well, here's what they're going to do. This is it right here. They are going to think of the complete and total opposite of that, and then they're going to argue. See, here's the difference. It's funny because in parts integration, the number one goal is we find a part, and then we go, okay, what's the complete and total opposite of that? And then what we do is we heal them, and then we pull them together as one complete unit, versus where narcissists do the complete opposite. So let's say, let's draw a point, a circle on a dot on a piece of paper. So you say A, and they go, what's the complete and total opposite of that? And they're going to go to the far, far left, okay? Now you got to draw another point over here. And they're going to disagree and argue to death, saying, no, you're wrong and I'm right, blah, blah, blah. Well, the goal isn't necessarily to get you to go all the way to their side. The goal is to get you to go halfway. So now you guys meet in the middle up at the top. So now you got a pyramid. So now you draw a dot up on the piece of paper in the middle, but upwards. And now you got a pyramid. If you connect the dots, 2 lines going up, okay? Then what they do is then they'll look for the complete and total opposite of that, the tip of the pyramid, that point that you agreed upon, and then they're going to pull you all the way over to the left, or they're going to disagree all the way on the left, and then they're going to do another one of those pyramid things and meet you in the middle, and they keep doing it, and they pull you left, 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 all the way to the point to where what you first believed in, it's totally gone now. So they literally call it the antithesis. So the thesis is what you think, okay? What you believe, your value, whatever, what you want to do. And then they do what they call the antithesis, the complete opposite. And then you meet in the middle, and they repeat and repeat the cycle over and over. And it's crazy making. It makes you go absolutely nuts. Well, the answer is just say, well, what's your purpose? For what purpose? What's your higher purpose? And it brings you back. Now, for those of you who are experts on this, this is not a complete dialogue on the Hegelian dialectic. That was not the goal. The goal was to understand how narcissists use this to start arguments and to get you off track and to divide and separate you from what you like and enjoy in life. So in other words, even though you guys come to an agreement, they will then start another argument. It might be in that very moment, or it might be the next day, and then they'll disagree with what you guys agreed on, and they'll go extreme left, and they just keep repeating this process to where you've gone so far to the left, like you don't even remember what your initial, belief was or value, or hey, this is what I want to do. I want to start a business. Oh, why do you want to do that? I don't think you should do that. I think you should do, and then it'll think of something of the complete and total opposite. So what they're doing is they are separating you from who you are. They're separating you from your beliefs, your values, your goals, your dreams in life. In fact, I remember in my late 20s and up to mid 30s, I would almost yell at my therapist or coaches and be like, God, how do I say this? So and I've even done this with my ex-girlfriend, with my mom. It was like, no matter what I want to do, you don't want me to do it. You want me to do something completely and totally opposite of what I want to do. They were never, ever, ever, ever supportive of anything that I was good at. Anything, especially if you're good at something, they're going to do everything in their power to convince you not to do it and to do something completely opposite. And okay, here's what it was. Because I started really getting really frustrated, and I began to realize what they were doing. I would just scream like, no matter what I want to do, you want me to do the complete opposite of what I want to do, and I'm sick of it. And the funny thing is, as I look back, I'm like, well, yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. And they were using Hegelian dialectic to create this. This is their way of arguing to get you to change. Because, all right, here's how most people think. Most people just want to get along. Most people will like, okay, well, I'll meet you in the middle. And they know this. And not only that, but they are going to get angry and yell and scream, and they're going to argue to death to get you to budge. And here's the trick. It's like, well, you know, it's an illusion, and they know it's an illusion. It's like, well, you didn't take my side. You didn't come all the way 180 degrees over here. You know, you kind of came over just a little bit, and we met in the middle somewhere. And that's what and this is a very narcissistic thing that they've taught society. Like, well, if we can't agree, why don't we meet somewhere in the middle? That's a con job. It is a con job. Don't do it. Now you might think, well, they just want me to do something that's good for my life, or they just, you know, they just want me to do something that's similar to them, or something that they believe in. No, it has nothing to do with any good intentions at all. It has nothing to do with they want you to, you know, like a father wants you to follow in his steps and take on the family business, or it has nothing to do with that. Let's say you wanted to follow in your father's footsteps and learn the family business. Once they realize that, they're like, oh shit, well, okay, we got to tell them to do something else. See, what it is no matter what you want to do, in fact, that is what it's dependent on. If this is what you believe, if this is what you want to do, they're going to make you do the complete opposite. That's their goal. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So let's say you wanted to be a health and nutrition expert, right? They're going to be like, no, I don't think you should do that. You should be a garbage man. Now let's say you really wanted to be a garbage man all along. Once they realize that, they're like, no, you should go back to college and study something that you don't want to study. And that is what it's all about. They want you to leave the things that you love, the things that bring you joy in life, that you're passionate about. And then they want to find something that's going to make you miserable. That is the goal. Whatever you want to do, whatever you like to do, they're going to tell you not to do that and why it's bad and how you need to do something that's completely opposite of that. And that's how they divide you. And the Hegelian dialectic is purposely designed to divide you and separate you from what you love, what you believe, what you value, and what you think. Now, one of the exercises I give people that I work with is like, hey, before you ask a question, ask yourself, what's my purpose? What's my highest purpose for this? And then something will come up and then go, well, now that I have that, what's my highest purpose for that? And then you say, well, love. Well, what's my highest purpose for that? Well, synergy. Well, once I have synergy, what's my highest purpose for that? Until you get to a higher purpose, right? Now, here's the thing. Because narcissists are trying to divide you and trying to separate you, all you have to do is ask them, so what's your purpose for asking me this? Okay, so hold on, let me stop this and I'll think of an example. So let's say they're arguing about listening to agree, right? And they'll say, no, I don't think that's good. I think you really need to have a good, healthy dialogue. And you're like, well, what's that mean? Well, I think disagreeing is healthy. So they're going to go the complete opposite, right? And so you go like, oh, okay, so for what purpose? So now you're pulling them back. And they're like, well, my purpose for that is for this, for that. Well, what's your purpose for that? Well, what's your higher purpose for that? What's your highest purpose for that? And all of a sudden they're going, holy shit, because now you're pulling them up in the bigger picture where you're connecting the pieces. And they're going to, ah, shit, ah, well. In fact, in the beginning, they may not even realize what's happening. So essentially, once they say, oh, well, my higher purpose for that. Now, here's what if you look into their eyes and pay attention, it'll kind of confuse them. It'll kind of screw them up. Whoa, because they're trying to go down into the details and divide everything into that pyramid thing I was telling you about. Whereas here you are doing bigger picture right brain questions that may go, they might get flustered, or they might start saying the same thing that you're saying eventually. So regardless, it'll really screw them up, okay? It's also possible it might reveal their true intention, and they might unconsciously or accidentally spit out, and you're like, oh, I see what you're doing. So here's how it works. When you're asking people, what's your purpose for that? What's your purpose for saying that or sharing that? What this causes is it causes them to go up into the bigger picture, and it helps you to understand their bigger picture. So now this adds clarity to communication, and when you go up into the bigger picture, when you ask for what purpose, this is where you find agreement. If you want to argue, you just ask the question why, or why specifically, and you keep going down, 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 and you separate into arguments. And this is why the narcissist is always asking you the question why, like literally like a little 2-year-old. Why, daddy? Why? Well, because the bear shits in the wood. Well, why does the bear shit in the wood? And it's just like, oh, it's like a never-ending 2-year-old toddler thing. Now here's just a quick thought to wrap this all up. God at one point was one whole, complete, core part of energy. That's it. There was no division. There was not even one little droplet. The problem is if you're totally, completely integrated and 100% core, you have no contrast. You have no anything to reflect off of from to be consciously aware of yourself. It's like there's no mirrors, there's no nothing. And therefore, you don't know who you are. In fact, you don't even know that you exist. So how God created the universe was by separating and throwing some parts out. So now God could be aware of God's self. Now here's the deal. All of you are all parts of God. I will discuss this more in depth during the training in November, okay? Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. If you like this video, click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment, and I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion. It's a little bit different, but it'll help you to get along in life, okay? We'll go over the for what purpose to help you to integrate yourself and to just enjoy life better. Alright guys, remember there's a donation button, a PayPal link in the description box. If you want to donate some money, go ahead. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless you.